Meet Austin Myers and Timothy Mosley. They were found guilty for the tragic murder of 18-year-old Justin back in Waynesville, Ohio. Their plan was to rob a safe belonging to Justin's father, but it turned into a horrifying ordeal. During the robbery, Justin was strangled with a choke wire and brutally stabbed 21 times until he died.
The idea of strangling him, that way it would create no mess, pretty much be an easier job to handle. Obviously, Justin was trying to put up a fight, and he wasn't overpowering us. Justin was trying to ask us why. He was pleading to stop, and pretty much begging for his life.
In exchange for a plea bargain, Mosley testified against Myers. He pled guilty and was sentenced to life behind bars. Facing the death penalty, Myers pleaded with the jury to spare his life for the sake of his family.
If you choose for me to die, it's only going to cause more pain and suffering for another family, not me. It won't hurt me. I won't feel anything. It's going to hurt more innocent people.
Justin's father addresses the court.
I'm not going to stand up here and tell you how much I hate you. That is without question. I would just hope that every time you close your eyes at night, you see my son Justin.
After the jury's recommendation of the death sentence, Myers had one last opportunity to plead for his life.
I think there's a lot of good things I can do with my life if you allow me to keep my life.
The judge remained unmoved, delivering the harshest possible sentence.
The defendant does not understand how precious life is. Therefore, the sentence of death shall be imposed upon Austin Gregory Myers on the charge of aggravated murder.
At just 19 years old, Myers is the youngest individual on Ohio's death row. Today, he awaits his execution at Chillicothe Correctional Institution. Now Martez Abram, convicted on 2 counts of murder for the cold-blooded killings of 2 Walmart employees in South Haven, Mississippi. Abram's descent into violence began when he faced suspension from his job at the Walmart for having a knife in the store. On the day of his suspension, Abram returned to the store armed with multiple weapons and unleashed a deadly rampage, killing store managers Anthony Brown and Brandon Gales.
He was laying on the ground with his eyes open, full of blood, and I ran up to him. I kneeled down, and I looked at him. I said, Anthony, honey, please say KC one more time. Just say KC one more time.
During this horrific incident, he shot a police officer, who survived thanks to his bulletproof vest.
Once I got out of my vehicle, I heard gunshots, and I felt the pressure of the bullet hit my back, and I blacked out for like 2 seconds because I thought I was dead without realizing I had been shot.
Abram was arrested at the scene and in court admitted to all the crimes.
That's you, isn't it, sir?
Yes.
Look it up. Mr. Gale is on the floor going down at this point, isn't he?
Yes.
Okay. And that's you shooting him, right?
Yes.
Okay. Look at your screen, sir.
Yes.
That's you shooting him?
Yes.
And you admit that you shot him in cold blood?
Yes.
One of the victim's wives delivered a heart-wrenching victim impact statement.
I feel the consequences of your actions on July the 30th, 2019 should cost you your life on this earth. But they do not have to cost you your eternity.
It was the judge who held the power to determine Abram's fate.
Count 2, you will be sentenced to death. In count 3, you will be sentenced to life.
Abram, standing in silence, heard his grim sentence. He now resides on death row, awaiting execution. Meet Markeith Loyd, a man convicted for the murder of a police officer in Orlando, Florida.
I'm facing a lecture that then, for somebody else I have absolutely don't know nothing about, and they framed me.
Loyd was already a fugitive, having killed his former girlfriend, who was carrying his child, prior to this tragic incident. A month later, he was spotted in a Walmart, captured on surveillance footage as he entered. Moments later, Orlando Police Lieutenant Deborah Clayton arrived, pushing a cart, and their paths crossed repeatedly inside the store. Their encounter escalated outside the store when Lieutenant Clayton attempted to arrest Loyd, resulting in a fatal shootout that claimed her life, as she was tragically shot 4 times. Following the murder, Loyd fled, sparking a 9-day manhunt before he was eventually apprehended. During his arrest, he attempted to escape and lost his left eye in the altercation. In court, Loyd took the stand, expressing a belief that everyone was out to harm him.
He turned my mind into something else, and I was just reacting, Mary. I was just reacting. Even when they opened the door, I just reacted. I fired 2 shots, I just reacted.
The jury found him guilty before a poignant victim impact statement was given by Lieutenant Clayton's sister.
It hurts so bad inside. It hurts so bad. Sometimes I can't even sleep at night. I didn't get that opportunity, that chance to speak with my sister as a grown-up. Just to let her know thank you.
Then came the moment when Loyd learned that the jury unanimously recommended the death sentence.
We, the jury, unanimously find that the defendant, Markeith Loyd, should be sentenced to death.
His reaction, a whispered utterance to the public and a subsequent outburst.
You've been trying to kill me. You've been trying to frame me for murder.
All right, why don't we remove Mr. Loyd from the courtroom?
Ultimately, the judge agreed with the jury's recommendation and handed down the death penalty. Markeith Loyd is now behind bars, awaiting his execution. This is Mikel Brady, who is incarcerated at Pasquotank Correctional Institution in North Carolina.
I stabbed him like 4 to 8 times to hit Jeffrey Howe until he stopped moving. I don't know how many times I hit him with a hammer.
His attempt to escape prison led to 4 prison workers' deaths. Brady was already serving a 24-year prison sentence for attempted murder for shooting at a North Carolina state trooper. 4 years into his sentence, Brady and 3 other inmates brutally attacked 4 prison workers with hammers and scissors.
That man, Mikel Brady, beat that man, George Midget, like he was trying to bust concrete.
In a desperate bid for freedom, he scaled a fence but was swiftly apprehended at gunpoint.
It was like a bloodbath. Literally when I stepped in between Jeffrey and Wendy, and
prosecutors argued that Brady was the mastermind behind this heinous act.
We know who originated the plan. We know who led the plan. We know who put the actions in place to furtherance of the plan.
He displayed a chilling lack of remorse for the killings. Brady was found guilty and took the stand at his sentencing.
I'm up here to tell the truth. You can ask me anything you want. I'm gonna tell the truth. How it was, whether it hurts me, whether it helps me. I don't care about that.
Seemingly devoid of emotion, he listened to the judge reading out the jury's recommendation for the death penalty.
A jury unanimously recommending that the defendant be sentenced to death.
Now, incarcerated in Colorado, Mikel Brady awaits his impending sentence. Introducing Anthony Kirkland, a convicted serial killer from Cincinnati, Ohio.
They say I am evil and a monster. They're right. Ever since I was little, everyone said I was bad. Even my mom hated me, but I don't blame her.
Before his horrifying killing spree, Kirkland had already served a 16-year prison sentence for the murder of his ex-girlfriend. Over the course of 3 harrowing years, Kirkland claimed the lives of 4 women, including 2 teenagers. His capture came after his 4th murder when he was found in possession of one victim's watch and iPod, making him a prime suspect. Police pieced together the evidence, linking Kirkland to all the murders. In court, as the charges were read out, facing the prospect of the death penalty, he appeared to faint.
We therefore unanimously recommend that the sentence of death should be imposed upon Anthony Kirkland.
Kirkland was found guilty on all charges and sentenced to death. He is now on death row at the Chillicothe Correctional Facility, awaiting execution.